Okay, begin. There we go.
There have been quite a number of lesser illumined mystics whose teachings and works have exalted mankind in varying degrees, such as Latos, Confucius, Pelagius, Paul, Isaiah, Socrates, Jacob Boehme, Spinoza, Leonardo da Vinci, and Swedenborg. These were very close to the light, but were not fully aware of their absolute unity with it. There have been many of the lesser illumined ones whom we know as geniuses, such as Whitman, Browning, Shakespeare, and other great poet-writers. Beethoven, Mozart, Schumann, and other musicians of their standard, together with the masters in all of the arts who have given to the world its culture. Inspiration is the first stepping stone which leads to genius. Genius is the next of the three great pinnacles of mankind, which are inspired man, genius, and mystic. When one is inspired, either through meditation or through the works of inspired men, he has risen through that partial illumination from the purely physical to the spiritual status which leads ever upward to the all-knowing, fully illumined sonship with God, which is the Christ status. Inspired men, geniuses, and mystics are the saviors of other men. They are the interpreters of God's language of light and teachers of the love nature of God, who uplift the world of men by re-inspiring them with the light of their illumining, each in the measure of his own awareness of the light of God consciousness, or Christ's Spirit within him. Treasure, therefore, your inspired moments, which become more and more yours as you increasingly walk and talk and work with God. Each of the supreme mystics of the past brought the message of love, unity, and the brotherhood of man to the people of their day. But the human race was too newly out of the jungle to either comprehend the principle of love or practice it. The human race is not yet unfolded enough to more than faintly understand it or practice it. Man's attempt to understand it has led to the formation of many religions which have disunited man instead of uniting him, and the misinterpretation of the nature of God as a wrathful God of fear has created a world of fear, sin, evil, selfishness, and greed, which has led to the countless killings in war after war. Until the last 100 years, human comprehension has not reached the possibility of comprehending what this electric age has taught to man. For this reason, God has again sent his message of love to this new age of unfolding man, for there are a sufficient number among men who can become the seed of the cosmic age now dawning, for re-inspiring other men to their exaltation into cosmic knowing. These few among the many, such as you are, else you would not have been led to this, will spread their knowing of the love nature of God throughout the earth, and to man of the comprehension of this electric age, and that alone will save mankind from his own destruction. Now I shall attempt to tell you my personal reaction to this great happening, which left me wholly mind, but with slight awareness of my electric body. During practically all of the time, I felt that my body was not a part of me, but attached to my consciousness by electromagnetic flux threads of light. When I had to use it in such acts as writing in words the essence of God's message, it was extremely difficult to bring my body back under control of my consciousness and make it do as I ordered it to do. As an example, I herewith reproduce one page of hundreds, if not thousands, of fragmentary writings to illustrate the difficulty of coordinating mind and body. After many days of such effort, I suddenly wrote as clearly and as legibly as the script of a child, and in a handwriting which I had never before or since used. It was necessary to overcome this difficulty, for the great reason for keeping me in the light for so long a period was to write down the message of the divine Iliad as interpreted from the rhythms of God's thinking in the inspired language of light, for the purpose of making mankind know and comprehend God for the first time during his unfolding. Also, it was necessary for me to make hundreds of diagrams for chemical and astronomical charts for the purpose of giving science a new cosmology in harmony with the laws of nature, to replace the present one which does not conform with natural law. Over 40,000 words were thus written and hundreds of charts made, with God's mind and thinking being mine, with hardly an erasure or correction. You who have read the books of beauty, love, desire, healing, and other parts of the divine Iliad surely know that I alone could not write such rhythmic and masterly literature, nor can any man at any time produce masterly art except while in the ecstasy of working knowingly with God. Nor can any man write masterly literature without constant rewriting and editing. During the entire period of severance, I could never attach my body to my mind as a part of myself. It always seemed outside of me, unattached, like an instrument which I could use, but was in no way related to my personal being. When my body felt hunger, it was not I who was hungry. My body automatically picked up food under instinctive control without mental interest in the process whatsoever. The food my body ate was as impersonal to me as the food given to an animal or to another person. My body likewise acted under instinctive control when it felt the necessity for air or exercise. I sometimes walked it in the park where it knew the way, and it would come back unerringly, but it was not I who walked, for I was forever in the high heavens of indescribable ecstasy, forever talking with God in his thought language of light. It is impossible to ever convey to anyone who does not think cosmically a dynamic understanding of that transition from the sensing of a mind-controlled body to the knowing of mind which has been severed from the body by so deep a feeling of separation that the electric body seemed in no way related to the ego of soul or of mind. I shall do my best to explain it by describing what happened. I cannot relate anything to time, for time ceased to be. All I can say is that there came a time after that blinding flash in which I became aware of knowing all things. Somewhere in the Bible it says something like these words: "You shall have an anointing of the Holy One, and you shall know all things." On the face of it, such a statement seems incredible, but it is not. Our concept of knowledge has been built upon the complexity of multitudinous effect instead of the utter simplicity of the cause of complex effect. Cause is as simple as the three mirrors in a kaleidoscope, while effect is as complex as the infinite repetitions of a few pieces of broken glass reflected within those mirrors. We can comprehend effect, but we cannot know it. We can know only the cause of effect. Encyclopedic information is not knowledge, but that is our concept of knowledge. In one timeless flash, I knew all things. All that I have ever written since then are but three-dimensional extensions into a universe of time and space. It did take time to think them into form and write them down, but to know all things was timeless. All of my chemical and astronomical charts were made before I knew the names of the elements or of stellar formations. Illumination into the light means just that, for it is the light of all knowing, or the light of love, which is manifested by thinking God's all-knowing into complexities of pattern forms. I instantly and timelessly knew the still magnetic light, which is the fulcrum of life and power. Also, I knew the heartbeat of the electric universe, which manifests love, life, and power in matter. I also instantly and timelessly knew that the magnetic light of the God of love was all that is, and that the sensed electric wave universe of motion, which simulates love, life, and power, had no reality whatsoever. I knew it for what it was, God's thinking, God's imagining, pure illusion, simulation, self-voiding forms thrown on the screen of space to manifest changeless ideal by setting it into motion to produce the effect of change. Thus, knowing the universal heartbeat, I knew the electric wave, or universal pulse, to which all moving, creating things were geared. Thus, knowing the wave in its octave pulse beat in cyclic rhythms, which spelled their rhythms out for me, always as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I then knew all cause and comprehended all effect. There was nothing to know but God's one whole ideal of creation, which is represented in the following diagram by the changeless zero of the spiritual mind universe of rest, and nothing to comprehend but the heartbeat of this pulsing electric wave universe of motion, which is represented in the diagram by the numbers. The heartbeat of the universe, positive 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a 0, and then negative 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 1 is generation of energy toward life and growth, and the 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 is disintegration of energy toward decay and death. This diagram is given to you now as a first simple step toward your acquisition of all knowledge of cause and all comprehension of effect. During the whole construction of this electric universe, in this entire course of study, the basic principle above diagrammed will never be departed from or exceeded, for there is nothing in nature, nor in your own life, nor in your thinking, nor in any action of yours which can vary one whit from this basic formula of creation. Nor is there anything the chemist, physicist, metallurgist, or engineer can exceed beyond this formula or vary it in their work. Likewise, the poet, painter, inventor, musician, or architect is limited to this simplicity beyond which he cannot go and to which he must conform. Likewise, the healthy growth of your body or the conduct of your friendly or business relations must conform to this principle of balance, or else suffer the consequence of whatever unbalanced residue remains from lack of conformity with the heartbeat of the universe. As we proceed to unfold this principle by its application to the many departments of life and work, other series of words will be used which have different connotations, and therefore lies the seeming complexity which makes everything you do seem difficult. The difficulty of that seeming complexity lies in the popular belief that cause and knowledge is complex, while cause While cause and knowledge are utterly simple, but information concerning effect is so utterly complex that it takes many large volumes of encyclopedias to write it all down, while not one thing in those vast volumes can possibly vary in principle from the simple formula of action-reaction sequences of expressed energy, which constitutes the cosmic kaleidoscope, which is our physical universe. The reason why I've been able to do so many things during life and do them in a masterly manner was because of my lifetime growing knowledge of the universal heartbeat, which fully unfolded in one timeless flash in 1921. It may not suddenly unfold to you as it did to me, but you can very greatly accelerate its unfolding if you will open your heart to these lessons and get what I am telling you into your consciousness instead of just photographing them onto your brain. If you just photograph them onto your brain, you can remember and repeat them, but you will not know them until deep thought and much meditation, while alone in your chamber, make them a part of your soul pattern. The more you do that, the more speedily you will gain knowledge gradually. No, you will gain knowledge cosmically. Until you do that, you have no knowledge whatsoever. For knowledge is cosmic, it is mental, while the brain is but a recording instrument which senses impressions recorded upon it and cannot know anything. Electrical awareness of effect must not be confused with cosmic awareness of cause. Electrical awareness means only that sensations caused by bodies of matter in motion, while cosmic consciousness means an awareness of soul, the universal soul of God, which man is to the extent of his awareness of his unity with God. Electrical sensation must not be mistaken for cosmic inspiration, nor for thinking, nor for knowing. The first and most conspicuous effect of illumination into full cosmic consciousness is the utter absence of evil, sin, or shame. There is no thought of such an unbalanced condition while in the one ecstatic condition of perfect balance which the light of love is. When I say there can be no thought of such a thing, I can best transfer that thought to you by asking if you feel the slightest thought of falling while you stand in balance. You obviously cannot, for your senses will not vibrate to tell you you are falling until you actually begin to fall. Likewise, when you are perfectly comfortable, your senses will not tell you that you are uncomfortable until you begin to be. You will then put on a coat if you are cold, or bring your body back into the balanced condition of comfort. Illumination into the light of cosmic consciousness transports you immediately into the light of all-knowing of cause, which balances and controls all effect. The cosmic spiritual light is balance. That which man calls evil or sin or shame, and any of its attributes such as anger and jealousy, worry, fear, cruelty, lust, or the greeds which lead to murders and wars, are unbalanced conditions created by man who has not yet learned the law of love, which demands equal interchange between all opposite conditions in all human relations. Man himself has manufactured evil, sin, and shame because of the impossibility of keeping himself in balance because of his greeds, which impelled him to take what he wanted without giving in order to be re-given. There is no such thing in nature as evil, sin, or shame. Nature is never unbalanced. The heavens give of light and rains to earth, and earth re-gives equally of her forest and crops and vapors, which replenishes the heavens. That is nature's manifestation of the law of love, which keeps nature ever in balance. I will give you another diagram to illustrate the love principle. This will be one more step in trying to transfer to your comprehension, that state of balance which kept me in the one ecstatic condition of cosmic consciousness for so long a period of severance of mind from the sensations induced by the electric thinking of mind, from which bodies appear, disappear, and reappear in endless sequences. Giving, re-giving. Giving is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Re-giving 0, 4, 3, 2, 1. Balance motion, balance motion, balance motion. And that was his little chart here. The love cycle. As you see, I have again used the same formula of rhythmic balanced interchange in all transactions of nature. I have but used different words to express different ideas. And I shall continue to do so whether I talk to you from the chemist's laboratory or from your business office or about your home and friendly relations. This I shall do until you have all knowledge and all power to control all effects which you set in motion. As every effect which you do set in motion is a pendulum, which will return to bless or smite you in the measure of your knowledge, or lack of it. It is imperative to your welfare that you open your heart and soul to what is herein written, and not shift it through any traditions or cults or teachings which have been so deeply impressed upon your brain by sensations or emotions that all you have accumulated in a lifetime are but abstractions, which you forever repeat but cannot possibly explain. That which your brain alone has recorded you do not know, and therefore cannot explain to others or even to yourself. That which you know in your heart and is recorded within your soul remains with you throughout the ages and is reincarnated within the seed of you for adding to its life after life as you journey through the ages to your final goal of complete unity with the light of God, which you are gradually knowing a little at a time as you walk and talk with God to know Him in you more and more, day by day.